Welcome to the first ever episode of the Second Chance Pod.
Episode!
Alright, I'm your host, Richard.
I'm Kerry.
The other host.
The other host. Yeah.
Alright. We just figured that this first episode would just kind of be like origins. Kind of like where this all began.
It all began. How did we get to this point in time?
Well, let's take it back to the dewy slopes of 13 years ago.
13 years. 13 years. Okay, let's think about this. It's a beautiful day in September 2008, 2009?
2008.
2008.
Was it beautiful? We don't know.
We don't know. You know what? Someone check the weather to fact check us, please.
September, I don't know which.
I don't know.
2008? Who knows?
We were first graders. And we were in
oh my god.
We were in the same first grade class with the one and only.
We don't need to name.
We don't need to name. We're not dropping names. We're not dropping names.
We can't drop names.
We can't. It's too early now. It's only the first episode. we can't already start name dropping. We can't. Next thing you know, we're gonna start doxing people. So like.
Well, knowing us. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah.
Kind of our thing.
So I mean, first grade, little 6-year-old Kerry
and little 5 going on 6-year-old Richard.
Oh my god, I still forget that I'm a year older than you, and it makes me like feel very, very old. I'm turning 20.
I'm turning 18.
Every single time I get like a visceral reaction every time you mention that you're younger than me, and it's really a lot.
Yeah,
for me.
But like
really rough.
at the same time, if you stack, it's really funny because if you stack 2 Kerrys on top of each other, you get my height.
For reference, for the people that are listening at home, I'm very short. I'm like, what, 5'2"? How tall are you?
And I'm, what, 5'11"?
So, yeah, I'm very short, and I've learned to deal with it, but then I have people like Richard who like to make fun of me for being short.
No, I don't like to make fun of you. I like to remind you.
Okay, that's fair. I get it.
It's done with love. It's done with love.
With love, of course. Okay, we're getting sidetracked, but...
We always get sidetracked. This is the whole point of us doing this podcast.
No, we're getting back to the origins.
The origins.
So, we went to school together for 6...
We went together for 6 years.
6 years.
And then you left after 6th grade, and then...
Yes, because I got bullied.
Same here. I just didn't leave. I just decided I'm a glutton for punishment. Seriously,
I couldn't deal with it. I had to leave. I had to get out of there. But then so basically, I left after 6th grade. You graduated.
I graduated, and then
we went to different high schools.
Yes, you stayed at the same school as you moved to after 6th.
Yes, I stayed when I moved going into 7th grade. I stayed there until I graduated senior year.
Yeah.
And then you went to your school after you graduated 8th grade.
Yeah.
And then we met each other, like 3 weeks
before first
day of college. So where we're from, they had like this new student send-off.
I really love that we did not say our background, like we are from Syracuse University.
Oh, I love how we did
None
that.
Of it.
Okay, you know what? Okay.
We're too
okay,
all over the place.
Okay, let's actually let's do that first. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Kerry.
Not the tour guide intro.
I'm 19 years old. I'm from are we saying exact locations?
I mean,
where we're from.
I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Well, okay, you go first then. You do the honors.
Sure. I mean, I'm from Westchester County. I'm a sophomore at Syracuse. I'm a dual major in psychology and broadcast digital journalism.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Go ahead.
You approved.
Go for it.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Kerry. I'm a sophomore at Syracuse University, majoring in information management technology in the iSchool. And I'm also from Westchester, New York, but I now live in good old Nashville, Tennessee. Go Vols.
That's really gonna come back to bite you.
I know it's gonna.
That's really gonna come back to bite you.
I know. I just said Vols was the first Tennessee team I could think of. I got the Titans. I got the whatever Vanderbilt is. What is Vanderbilt?
Whatever Vanderbilt is.
What is Vanderbilt?
I don't know.
Okay, who gives a shit? Like...
I don't care enough.
It's ACC, right?
No, they're not ACC.
Oh wait, fuck!
They're God knows where.
Oh no, they're SEC. SEC.
This tells us how much we care, honestly, about Vanderbilt.
They're SEC.
Yeah.
Southern schools, but yeah, I live in Nashville. Or yes, okay.
The new student send off.
New student send off. So when I still lived in New York, we went to New Student Send Off like a few weeks before we came to campus, and I remember I signed up for it. The few days before I went, I checked the registration list, and I was like, oh my god, Richard is on this list. I think we have similar stories about that, right?
No, yeah, I have a very similar story because the night before the New Student Send Off, I realized that I could go and check the guest list and check through, and I literally remember calling out to my dad across the apartment, just going like, "Dad, we're gonna see Kerry, like we're gonna see another kid from middle school, here we go."
Oh god! Out of all people, I love that it was me though.
Yeah.
That you saw from middle school,
but of all people, I'm glad it was someone that I never had any issues with.
Yes,
that's the main thing.
Exactly.
It wasn't something.
I felt the same way.
It wasn't problematic.
But I'm sorry. It was so funny when I walked into so you got there before me, and then
yes.
I walked in, and then I immediately saw you and your dad. Like, immediately. I was across the room, I looked at my mom, and I was like, there's Richard. And I was like, it was very quick, and we're like, okay.
I don't think you told me this part.
I don't think I told you this. But we were like, okay, we have to be, like, really stealthy about this. We don't want to be awkward. So we went to, like, the table in the middle. We started picking up snacks. And we're like, we have to, like, blend in
my side of this
blend in a little bit. Oh, what, you couldn't see me? Because
No. My dad and I were talking to somebody who went to kindergarten with me, because I went to a different school before. I saw Lola.
Right.
And
okay,
I saw
didn't know
Lola,
if I was
and my dad and I were talking to, like, her dad, and, like, we were just chatting.
I also talked to her, actually.
Yeah, and then I look over to my left, and I just, like, remember elbowing my dad and just going, like, hey, Dad, incoming. And I was like, get ready. I was like, this could either go very badly or very good for us, so let's just hope for the best.
I mean, I think it went terribly.
And then I heard your mom, and it was like, here we go. It's happening.
I personally...
Brace yourselves.
It was so funny, though. Like, it's just so weird to think. And then, oh my god, the fact that Rashik almost went.
Yeah, Rashik almost went.
Oh,
the only reason why Rashik didn't go is because he had to come up for summer start.
Right.
He would have gone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that one's so good, though. That would... Oh, I would have fucking loved that if the three of us were all there.
That would have been great.
But no, so, like, yeah, so basically we saw each other for the first time after 7 years. It was that was
awkward.
It was...
That was awkward.
Yeah, I remember...
It was awkward, but dude, honestly, like...
I remember we exchanged numbers after.
Yeah.
You're just like, hey, and it's like, hey.
I also feel like that was kind of, like, forced by our parents.
Oh, totally.
That's totally forced by our parents.
But, like, I'm gonna be completely honest. When I, knew that you're coming to school, I was like, oh, like, it's just gonna be an acquaintance.
Same.
Look where we are now.
Same.
We're now best friends and we have a podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like having a podcast is like the
biggest immortalization of our friendship.
Just of any best friends. If any best friends have a podcast, that is the final test. If they can successfully get through at least one episode of a podcast, then they are, like, built for life to be best friends.
The thing is, if I'm being honest, I did not think that, like, I would text you at all.
Oh, no.
When we got here. I did not think,
dude,
no.
I remember you used to always text me like, hey, what are you guys doing? Because I didn't have any friends. Guys. It's really upsetting. So there was one time back in, like, October or, like, late September, I texted Richard, and I was like, hey, what are you guys doing tonight? And you're like, oh, we're just hanging out, come over. And I was like, all right, bet. So I came over, and then I never left.
Yeah.
I literally never...
What time did you leave? You like 3 a.m.?
There was one time I left at 5.
Yeah, I know.
And then
that was later
when I got back to my dorm, the security guard was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, I'm good. It was 5 a.m. I, like, got no sleep, like, the last
I think the first time you came to...
It was, like...
Like 3 a.m. It was like 3 a.m. you left, I think.
Well, no. The first time I came over, I think I left around midnight because that was before I thought that I could actually stay up that long.
Yes.
Because I remember, because we were in... Oh, my God. It was the convocation night last year.
That's right.
We went to the convocation, is where they had, like, the new student send-off stuff. They had all the stuff in the quad. And I remember I started hanging... Because I remember my roommate went back up to our dorm that night, like, early. And I was like, okay. And then I ran into you guys. A few of us were there. And then I ended up going back with you guys to your dorm. And we just started hanging out. I think we were playing Jackbox a little bit. And then by the time it hit, like, 1 a.m., and I'm like, oh, I should probably head back. I head back, and then I don't remember what else happened after that. I try not to think too much about it.
At what point did you, like, figure out, like, we are going to be hanging out all the time? The thing is, the first time that you came over to Sadler, I kind of knew that there was, like... serious, like,
mm-hmm.
friendship there, but then it was,
yeah.
everything would get this far, not until, like, later on. Probably, like, 2-3 weeks in when you were, like, actually consistently coming over.
Yeah. I think the time that it hit for me, honestly, might have been Juice Jam.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Because what happened is, so basically, got to Juice Jam, I was with my old roommate, and a few of, like, her friends.
Yeah.
And I remember we went, and then we were standing by, like, the couches, and then I saw Matt.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh my god, Carrie. And I'm like, oh my god, hey. And I had barely spoken to you guys. And I was like, so I walk over, and then I start talking to you guys. And then my roommate and her friend and the friends just leave me.
Yeah.
They just walk into, like, the crowd.
And then you were with us.
Yeah. And then I was just like, and I didn't know where they went. I honestly didn't feel like texting them. Because I was just talking to you guys. We were sitting on the couch. It was just, like, a whole group of us were there. I met a lot of people that day.
Yeah.
And then, so I hung out with you guys, like, the entire night. Like, the entire day.
Who hadn't you met by then? Bryce?
I had already met Bryce. I met Rashid.
I think Al.
I met Elle and Zach.
Elle and Zach at Juice Jam.
I definitely met Elle. Definitely met Zach. And then I met Anna, like, the next month.
One of these episodes needs to be, like, a margaritas episode. It needs to be the origins of margaritas.
Origin of margaritas. For context, we need to give people context.
Yeah, we do need to give context.
Margaritas is the group chat for our friend group. And that's all I'm going to say for right now. Because I do agree that we should have a margarita-centric episode.
I think I think that should be Halloween because that's when Anna's going to be here.
Stop.
I think she needs to be in it because Anna and I were kind of like... Mm-hmm. I feel like we were the spirit. Like, we kind of connect.
Yes. Well,
like, everyone is connected through the two of us.
Also,
in some way.
Once again, I need to give people,
yeah.
like, we do have a family tree. And Anna did make a family tree.
With me on a Wednesday night at, like...
Yes, and I was there. She showed me that night. Because we were, like, some of, like, the last few people who were still on campus. That was at the end of the year,
or last year when I'd already... Because I went home.
You were already home.
Early. Like,
I was still on campus. I think I left... This was the night before I left.
Yeah.
And it was, like, that Wednesday, and I remember I was in the lounge on the floor, and I was, like, just on the floor. And then Anna came over, and she was like, oh my god, Carrie, you have to see this. And I'm like, what? And then she showed me the family tree, and I was like, that is, like... But then there was a bit of, like, logistic issues with it, because there was unintentional incest in the family tree. So, like... What?
Yeah.
But basically, like, some people were brought in to the group by the same people, but then they started dating.
The thing is, in the context of a family tree, sure, that word may apply, but in a broader sense,
I mean,
not really.
I mean, no, I totally agree.
I
mean, weren't, like, Ben and I, like, in the same family?
No, actually.
Oh, no,
it's very weird. No, it's very weird because Josh was connected by both me and Anna.
Yes.
So if you want the technicality of, like, Josh being in...
So technically we're cousins?
We're
friend group cousins. My boyfriend and I are friend group cousins.
It's very weird just because, like, when you look, like, me and Anna were, like, both, I was really close with Josh, and she was really close with Josh, so we kind of just made Josh, like, connected to both of us.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Rather than kind of just, like, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Because the only reason why we put me and Anna as the parents, the reason that conversation started was just, like, me and Anna do act a lot like the parents of this friend group. Like,
very true. That is very true.
We are organizing everything. Mm-hmm. We are making sure everybody's getting their shit together. We're making sure that everything's in line. Mm-hmm. Like...
Okay, I don't know if this is gonna stay in. We can cut it out if we want to. But, okay, so
Please don't make me edit.
Well, look, if you want to keep this in, then you can keep it, but I thought it was funny, and I didn't...
What is this about?
It's about you. So I was in class yesterday, and I was with my friend, shout out my friend Justin. I was sitting with him, he's, like, one of my high school friends.
Yeah.
So I was sitting next to him, and he was, like, I was talking to a few of my friends from the class, and they're like, oh, like, what do you guys do this weekend? I'm like, oh, I went to the game, and, like, they're like, oh, I went traveling. I had a friend who, like, went hiking in the Adirondacks last weekend. I'm like, oh my god. And so, like, I was like, yeah. I know, and I was like, yeah, I went to the game, like, on Saturday, it was really fun, and then I was saying, like, yeah, we ended up getting there, like, an hour early, and my friend Justin looks at me and was like, your friend acts a lot like my mom, and I was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, what do you mean? And it was like, oh, well, your friend acts exactly like an Asian mom. And I was like, well, I'm like, my best friend is Asian.
Yeah.
And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay. He's also Asian.
Yeah.
I feel like I should.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's good for context for them.
Yeah,
like,
okay. Need context for that. The person who is saying this is also Asian. So there is
about an Asian.
Yes,
so
yes.
okay.
Okay, so there is no there's no canceling in order.
We're okay.
There's no need to cancel anyone.
We're okay.
It's all in good fun.
And it was all in jokes and all
all
in
in
humor,
jokes.
so
All in
we're
jokes.
good,
We're good. We're good. I just thought
the thing is, I act very much so just like.
I mean, even my mom feels that way about you.
I act like a parent.
Oh, totally.
Like I'm the one that will like make sure that everybody's okay. Make sure
you're the therapist couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you just need to talk, but also at the same time, just like you will call people out on their shit.
And I will make sure that their shit is together.
Yes.
Like if we need to go, we need to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, see,
ma'am, spring break.
Spring break.
That deserves its own episode.
That's a whole other episode. We're talking about spring break.
No, and we're gonna bring like I don't know.
We need to bring in some of like
the big Bryce. That's Bryce's episode.
That's
Bryce's episode.
The three of us
talking about spring break.
The three of us talking about spring break. For reference, we were roommates in spring break. For spring break, the three of us. I feel like that would be very. There was a lot of stuff that.
There's a lot to unpack.
There's a lot to unpack there, but also what I was gonna say is that about us, like we as a group never leave on time. Never. So what
Never. This is why.
I mean, I learned this that like whenever we send the group chat, like, oh yeah, we're gonna meet this time. We always set it like 10 minutes earlier than we actually want to meet.
I don't. If it's a big thing, I set it a half hour early.
Okay, but still,
like,
you have to set it earlier.
Okay, if we need, I remember I think for spring break we had to leave at like 10, and I told you guys like be ready at 9:30. Like we're gonna meet in this lounge at like 15 minutes early. I don't care if we need to sit here and wait. We're going to be there on time.
For reference, I woke up at 10.
Yes.
That day. To be fair,
we had to leave at 10:15.
To be fair, we didn't leave until 10:25.
Because you got lucky because the Ubers didn't work.
Dude,
Ubers
for reference, I went to bed at 7 a.m.
Well, yes, so did I.
Yeah, but
so did I woke up at 9 a.m.
And then I slept through my alarm.
I know you did.
I felt like a 9:30, 9:15, 9:30.
God damn.
Because I can't wake up with one alarm. I think this morning I actually set like 4 alarms.
Oh, no, yeah, I usually set 3, but it's so weird because the thing is, my sleep schedule got so screwed by my work schedule over the summer that I literally will, like, my body, like, not even my alarm, my body will wake me up at, like, 7:30, and I'll have, like, a 12:30 class. I'm like, why am I awake? Like, why? I have
to wake myself, like, up earlier, like, way earlier than my actual classes, because, like, I, like, just won't get out of bed.
No, yeah.
So, like, I had, like, class this morning at 11:40. Yeah. I think I set my alarms for, like, 9:30. Like, around 9:15, 9:30. Yeah. And then I didn't get out of bed until like 10. Yeah. So, it works out for me.
I love how we're on like a full tangent right now.
I know, I love it. It's great.
We've completely.
See, look, it's a part of the experience. It's part of the experience.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, the thing is, like, this is us. Like we will start on one thing, and then like we will talk for like 3 to 4 hours, and then just go on like this tangent, that tangent, and just like just all around, and then like somehow we'll get back to point A, and then we'll like finish it. Like. I don't know how we do it.
Yeah, for the visual people, or people who would like visuals, Richard's making a lot of hand motions.
I use my hands a lot. Like,
and like pointing and like I was doing jazz hands, if you care about that. I was doing jazz hands. So yeah, I think my like shtick that I'm gonna do on the show is that I'm gonna give stuff to visual learners, like people who are watching like on Spotify or something, or listening on Spotify, whatever. But like who can't.
If we use Spotify, I don't know.
Whatever we decide to do for the people, even if honestly I'm gonna do it, even if we're doing exclusively like with video, because I know, like I think it's good.
I think it's a fun shtick.
I think it's great. I'm pretty sure that's what, for all the Chuckle Sandwich fans there, that's what Ted Dennison does.
The thing is,
like, he narrates, like the hand motions.
The thing is, this is just episode 1. This is me and Carrie just figuring out what the hell we want to do like, along the way.
Yeah, to preface, this is my first podcast I've ever filmed, ever.
Yeah. And this is, like, I did stuff in high school. Like I did sports broadcast, and like obviously I'm a broadcast major. But what's interesting about doing podcasts, like I don't think broadcast stuff applies to podcasts. I mean, podcasts are very like sit down and chill, like very like conversational. Like Agreed. I don't think
it's very like
y'all don't want to hear broadcast voice. Y'all want to hear chill people talking about chill things.
Yeah, this is a podcast for vibes.
Yes.
For vibes.
This is fully me and Kerry having fun.
Oh, good high five. Honestly, I think we found our outro. I think we found it.
That's the outro sound?
No, we just like... That's our outro. Okay.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
See, I know I said that I was going to narrate what we were doing, but I'm going to keep that hand motion as a surprise. For the end. That sounds
Y'all
really...
will figure out what it is.
That sounds really wrong, I'm now realizing. But you know what? Look, I have to keep people on their toes, so...
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really happy that we're on the same page with this. It's really great.
Where do we want to spiral from here?
Oh, let's see. Well, let's talk about where we are right now. We're in my room, my dorm room.
Yes.
In the good old Syracuse University. Oh, we're neighbors, by the way.
Yes.
I feel like we have to preface this.
It's so amazing.
That's a separate episode, though. Housing.
Oh my god. No,
Housing's a separate episode.
Yeah.
I think what we're doing in this podcast now is that we're just planning out future episodes.
Like, the thing is, as we're going, like, this is a great episode, but as we're, like, going on, we're, like, teasing you guys. Like,
I know, we're giving you guys, like, so for the people that are watching this and they're like, oh my god, I don't know if I want to continue watching this anymore. These people are really fucking annoying. But
guess what? We think the same thing.
Well,
we agree.
We're self-aware and we know we're annoying.
We agree.
We know we're annoying.
Agree.
But also, we're telling you guys what's to come if you continue watching. So, oh my god, like,
do you want to hear the college experience?
Wow, like, you guys are really hyping up what happened on spring break. Like, I want to wait for that episode. Oh my god, what happened with housing? Like, housing is supposed to be, like, really good in college. What happened with that? And then we're going to explain that.
There's going to be a lot of just, like, college talk. Just,
a lot of college talk. Personal talk.
We'll talk about classes. We'll talk about our lives. We'll talk about where,
Dude, you want to turn the fan on?
That'd be a great choice, like,
yeah,
honestly.
turn the fan on. Dude, middle button. There you go.
Oh my god.
It also spins. There's one over there, but I don't want to get up. So, but yeah, so we are neighbors, and we will tell the story at some point.
Yeah.
Yes. It is genuinely one of, like, my proudest achievements.
You're such a jerk. Okay. Genuinely, going back to, like, the main topic of this.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Like, we always say it, but if you told little us 13 years ago, this is where we'd be.
Oh,
No.
No. Like, when we were in school together, like, we were, like, friendly.
Yeah.
I don't think we were...
We never had any issues with each other.
Never had issues.
Like,
we were kind of more, like...
It was acquaintances.
Yes.
It was acquaintances. We never, like, gave each other any issues. Like, we were always on good terms.
No.
But, like, we weren't friends. Like, we didn't hang out outside of school.
No.
Like...
I think, like, we had, like, mutual friends and stuff. Like, I was friends with,
I mean,
like...
if you want, like, a definition of the words, of the phrase young and dumb... Please put, like, a big block picture of me and Kerry at 6 years old. Like...
Young and dumb.
Young and dumb.
I mean... Were we dumb?
No, we weren't dumb. Young and oblivious. Young and oblivious? I mean...
Okay.
The thing is, I don't just the main thing is we weren't, like, obviously for good reason, but, like, we weren't thinking about now. We weren't thinking about what happened now.
Dude, I don't think 6-year-old me was thinking about college.
No, yeah.
At all. Or what I want to do with my life. I was like, you know what, I was gonna say...
Well, my mother was. My mother was thinking about college.
Okay, well, yeah, okay.
Our moms were.
Yes,
but,
our moms were, yes.
I don't think, like, we realized, like... The thing is, if you talk to each of us and just, like, which one of these... one of these individuals will be, like, your best friend in college. Which one do you think it will be? If, like, a future us came back, we would not pick each other.
No.
Would not be picking each other. Like,
now I'm thinking about who I would actually pick. We're not getting to...
No, I know who I'd pick.
I know who you'd pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, that was, like, my best friend.
Right.
Like, I don't think...
I don't know who I would pick.
I don't know.
There's a lot of people.
But I will say, like,
I left on weird terms.
But I will say, like, knowing everybody, like, pretty much, like, more or less how they are now.
Yes.
This was the best that could happen. This was the best duo that could happen.
For sure.
Like...
For sure. Add my sister there.
I mean...
Oh, yeah, okay. Should we talk about her?
You want to talk about Lindsay?
Yeah, okay.
I think Lindsay needs to be on an episode of this.
She already said she was down, by the way. I asked her over the summer.
Yeah.
She said that she would love to be part of it. So basically, so I have a twin sister. So Richard went to school with both me and my sister. We go to different schools. We are very, very different people.
Yes, very.
Very, very different.
Very with capital V-E-R-Y.
Very, very. I couldn't spell.
Is it too late, honey? Is
no,
it too late?
I had to think of it in my head, and I'm like, dude, it's not even that late.
I know. I was like, is it too late? Is it too late for you?
It's 10:45. It's 10:45 p.m. on a fucking Wednesday. Hump day.
Oh
but
my
yeah,
God.
basically, I have a sister, so if we hear me mentioning my sister, basically, Richard went to school with both of us. And so, like, he hadn't seen me about the same time that he hasn't seen my sister. To be fair, they've never met in person since.
Yeah, but we've spoken over FaceTime.
We've spoken over FaceTime. We, like, you know...
That's just because she goes to a different school.
She goes to a different school, yeah. I mean, so, that's, like, fun for her, I guess. I mean, look, we didn't want to go to the same school anyway, so it's fine. It worked out. But, yeah, so if... Oh, my God, I would love to have her on an episode, though. Yeah. I would fucking love that.
But, like, honestly, of all people, like, this is the best thing... This is the best thing
for sure, for
sure. Like, I don't think anybody else... Like, knowing where everybody is now, I don't think that there's anybody else that would have made, like, as good of a duo as this right now.
I agree. And we're not being biased or anything. I just genuinely think it's true.
No, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. No, totally.
Like, I don't think... Like, I have so much in common with you. Like, I don't think that there's somebody else, like, from that time, like, that would have fit sure. As well.
I mean, like, we've discovered that, like, sometimes we are the same person.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes. I mean, for the most part, like, obviously, like, we're different people.
We're different, but we have very, like, similar tendencies.
I feel like we sometimes, like, catch on to each other's, like, mannerisms and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's a different episode.
That's a Ben episode.
That was the Ben, Ben episode, but I have another plan for an episode that I'm purposely not saving, and I told Richard about this before we started filming, which I think is perfect. I'm not saving it. I'm going to keep you guys on your toes, okay? You guys, like, they need some surprises from us.
Yeah.
You know, I'm saying we as if, like, I mean, like, fan name? I'm sorry.
Not now. It's way too early.
If anyone has any suggestions, though,
we are open
to them. Leave them in the comments. You know, share this with your friends. You know, I think I mean, like, you know, we could be the next big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. We're gonna convince ourselves that we can.
You know what? Don't look at the sub count. Don't look at the viewer count. Like, to us, we will be the next big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah. And then we can, like, get guest stars.
I feel like this is how, like, the best podcast happen. Like, just two best friends just talking.
Oh, agreed.
About literal nonsense. Like, I don't even know what we've talked about for the last, 27 minutes?
It's been 27 minutes?
Yeah.
The fuck?
No, yeah, this is what always happens. We'll just keep going.
I know.
Like, we'll check our watch and be like, oh my God, it's been, like, 2 hours.
It has not been 2 hours.
I know, but that's what I mean.
It hasn't been.
I know, but that's what I mean. Like,
yes.
We'll just, like, we'll just sit and talk and just, like, ramble.
What else have, like, what, like, other introduction stuff have we not covered?
I mean, we've covered the lot. I mean,
I know. I'm just trying to think because I know this is like an origins episode. Ooh,
it doesn't need to be just origins. I know. Just go on to, like,
no, I know. I'm
where
just thinking.
Where we're at now. I mean, like,
where are we now? We're in college.
That's nuts.
That's nuts.
That's nuts. Like, literally.
Yeah.
I did my first tour guide intro last week because I run New House tours, and I did my first tour intro last week, and I said I'm a sophomore, and I was like, whoa. I was like, that word just came out of my mouth, and that felt so weird.
Yeah.
Like,
aging is weird. Growing up is weird.
It's weird. Thing is, like, it's kind of weird because, like, when you're a senior in high school, you kind of get used to being, like, the old guys in the building, but then you come to college and then you're the young, and then you get used to the babies in the building, and then you become a sophomore and you're like, oh, I'm not the baby anymore. Like, there's people younger than me.
Yeah, it's
so weird.
Yeah, no, it's kind of weird at my school though because the high school that I came from before I came to college started in middle school. Yeah. So the freshmen were never really considered the babies. Yeah. Because there were 3 years younger than them in the school. I mean,
But didn't you have an upper school?
No, they were all in the same school. Oh. They were all in the same building. When I was in 7th grade, I would walk around with seniors. Yeah. And I remember senior year, the 6th graders were so tiny that I was really scared that they were gonna get freaking trampled.
Oh my God.
Because they were so tiny, they had these giant backpacks with they looked like tortoises. I mean, I think that is a perfect description for people who know seeing a little kid carrying a giant backpack. Also, we didn't have lockers my senior year. Oh. Or no, well.
Oh, that's right, because COVID.
But they gave priority lockers to the middle schoolers, and not so the high schoolers didn't have lockers senior year. Yeah. So I didn't have a locker my senior year. Yeah. We had I don't know I don't know how your high school dealt with pandemic stuff. I mean we didn't. We didn't get lockers. We didn't, which was kind of annoying.
For us, I mean, we still had lockers, but the thing is, when I was a senior, my parents wanted me to stay remote, so I did senior year from home. I only came on campus for very small things, and I never was like in an enclosed space with other people. Like the only thing I did was like I would just hang out in the parking lot after school, like to go like say hey, and then I would like go to tennis practice and that's it. Like because tennis courts were outside, so I didn't it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Too much of like a COVID risk because my parents were like more okay with me going out and being distanced from people outside rather than like going to an enclosed space like a classroom.
Makes
so
sense.
Like at the end of the day, like I know my friends went, like some of my friends went in and I think they had lockers, but I don't know. It was a weird time, and it also made everything about the college process so much like weirder.
Yeah. I mean, like there's the whole thing about like being like test optional. And, like, I mean, like, I know there are some schools that just completely drop the Common App.
Yeah.
Which is...
I mean, if you want, we can fill the rest of the time talking about just, like, our college process. Because I don't think that's going to take us, like, an hour, so...
No, we can talk about the college process.
I'm down, like...
Look, you brought the topic. Would you like to start?
I'm going to start with my biggest regret. I regret not applying to more private schools. I think we've talked about this before.
I think we have, yeah.
I wish I applied to more privates. Like, I applied to 12 schools, and half of them were public schools. And those public schools... I got into all of them.
Yeah.
And so, like, with that in, like, if I, like, knowing now if I knew then what I know now, I would have applied to more private schools.
Yeah.
Like, Syracuse accepted me. I got on a wait list from another school that I rejected because I fell in love with Syracuse. And then my 4 top schools I got rejected from. I honestly, like, I don't mean to make this, like, an excuse or anything, but I think... Our year was so much more difficult because of the test optional thing, because we didn't have to send in our test scores. Like, they were just looking just at our, like, high school GPAs, just at our personal statements, just at this and that. And, like, if I'm being honest, I will say this is, knowing now what I know, like, this is the best fit for me.
Totally.
Like, I wanted... broadcast, like that was a dream, and this was the school that gave it to me. Those 4 top schools, I just applied for psychology, and those 4 schools, thinking about them now, none of them have a strong broadcast program. Actually, one of their broadcast programs is kind of like linked to ours. Like it is like
cool.
We actually like for the ACC network, like that's like a stepping stone. Like you might get sent to cover that specific school's games.
Oh, that's cool.
They don't have like their own like.
Whoa.
Like their broadcast program isn't as strong. So if I'm being honest, like, shout out Kevin Dwyer, shout out Mrs. Dwyer. I love Mr. Dwyer so much. One of my favorite high school teachers, who helped me so much with the college process. Like, I talked to him about it after all was said and done, after all the decisions had come out. And we kind of realized, like, this was the best fit for me.
Yeah.
Like, he really encouraged me, like, told me all about, like, nuance in the program, because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And, like, when I look back, it would have been so hard to have Syracuse and the offer that they gave me and then stack that against something like Columbia.
Yeah.
And, like, if we're being frank, Ivies are not great with financial aid, so that also would have been, like, kind of difficult. So, like, you have 2 schools, and like you kind of like it would have been so hard to pick one over the other. Like on one side there's like an amazing broadcast program, on the other side there's like an Ivy League school. It's Columbia. Like there's nothing, you know, it's one of the best. And like their psychology program, like that psychology program is amazing. But like, yeah, I think things happen for a reason, and I'm like obviously happy where I'm at.
Right.
I mean, my options, I chose Syracuse. I could have gone to Binghamton or Stony Brook were my next 2 options. But I mean, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, my turn. So mine is kind of different. Syracuse was actually always my top choice.
Yeah.
It was always the school I wanted to go to. I am actually a former summer college student here at Syracuse. I did summer college here in 2019, which was actually the last year where summer college was in person before COVID hit. Yep. So I was one of like the last. Oh, yeah. So that kind of led to an issue when I actually got here. So they still had my old ID photo on file. So my ID photo for college is a picture of me when I'm 16. So it really, really helps play into the role
Yeah.
of the fact that I look like I'm younger than I actually am. It's great.
Yep.
For
context, your bangs look great.
Yeah, I had bangs in this photo. Since then, I've grown them out, and I don't have bangs anymore. But I mean, they look great. They're very puffy. But okay, basically, so I knew I always wanted. Like, Syracuse was always a school I really liked. Funny thing about Syracuse is that this was the only school that I applied to where I wasn't applying as a computer science major.
Yeah.
Every other school I applied for computer science programs. I mean, like, I have nothing against the computer science program here. I just fell in love with the iSchool.
Yeah.
If anyone doesn't know what an
It's like more specific to what you want.
Yes, agreed. For people who don't know what the iSchool is, it's a smaller school on campus. It's the School of Information Studies. It's basically the whole concept of the school is it's a combination between technology and business to help solve like real world problems. So that's where you get into programs with like data analytics or cybersecurity, or like they also have some management stuff, like project management and like stuff like that. So I was really interested in that, and I actually, after I did summer college, I did a retreat here in October of 2019 called It Girls.
Yeah, It Girls, yeah.
It Girls, which is basically where it was a weekend in October where they basically brought 100 girls from across the country to Syracuse. We stayed in the Sheraton Hotel, and we just like went to different guest speakers, and we learned about like different like things in IT, which is really interesting. And then after I went to that program, I'm like, oh my god, like I love this program, I love this school.
Do they still do It Girls?
They do. I will get to that later. That is for a future thing. But yeah, so basically when I got to the point of applying, I knew that I wanted to go to Syracuse. Like I knew that Syracuse was always an option for me.
Yeah.
Like to apply, I never knew it was necessarily a place where I was going to attend, but I always knew it was somewhere that I was going to apply. And then when it got to the point where I was sending in applications to all my schools, my top 3 ended up being Syracuse and 2 other schools. And my mom and I ended up doing a road trip actually, like visiting all of the campuses, because I never got to do any campus tours.
I never.
So I did. Either. Mine were all online. I think from like the entire year, I maybe did like 40 sessions online for like 15 different schools. Like it was like a lot. But by the time like it got to the point like maybe like a month or so before like May 1st, it was like around like late March, early April when I got to the point where I really need to pick where I was going. This was during spring break, senior year. My mom was like, oh yeah, like we should go look around your top 3, see the campuses. And so I'm just not gonna say both names, the other schools, but we go to the first school, we drive up, it's also in upstate New York, University of Rochester. I was looking at University of Rochester, I went up there, we drove around a little bit. It was smaller than I liked, but it was still like an interesting program. Another school I was going to do computer science in, and then drove down to Syracuse, which was maybe about an hour and a half away, and I was like, and I think I knew like right away, because I was like pointing out buildings and being like, oh my god, like I know like where everything is. Like I saw the iSchool and I was like, oh my god, we drove up the mount, actually, and like we looked at the mount like halls there, we're like, oh my god, like I could live there. And then like yes, and I was like, yeah, like I love this, like this is great, and like I felt comfortable because I knew my way around. I knew at least a few people that were already here through like past programs I did. And then when I got to the third school, which is GW, so I ended up going to DC. My mom and we ended up getting there before our campus tour a few hours early. So we're like, okay, like let's just like walk around a little. About like 20 minutes, we were walking around for like 3 hours. About like 20 minutes before, we're sitting down on like a bench across from where we're supposed to meet. I look at my mom and I'm like, I think I'm going to Syracuse.
Yeah.
And she's like, she's really? I'm like, yeah, like I think so. Like I think I really like the program. And so I went on my tour of GW knowing that I was going to Syracuse. So I went on that tour knowing I wasn't going to go to that school.
Yeah.
And we were like, let's just see like maybe like if I end up changing my mind or anything. We got to the last stop, which was like, I think it was like the engineering computer science, which is a beautiful building.
Yeah.
There's engineering school is beautiful. And I remember like we were leaving and my mom was like, oh, so do you still feel the same way? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Syracuse.
Yeah.
And I remember when I got home, I like told my family, and they're like, oh my god, and then like people started asking, and I like got to finally say like, oh yeah, I'm going to Syracuse, and it felt really good. I mean, like, because my sister like figured out where she was going like really early on, but like also like I mean like I didn't settle for Syracuse at all. Like I definitely had other options.
Yeah.
I mean like
not in the same way. I didn't
settle, settle definitely. Like I just absolutely love the program, and like I'm a big college sports family. So going to a school with a big sports presence was something that was really important to me. It doesn't really matter if they're good or not. It just matters if, like, they're there. I mean, like, I don't really know if, like, go Yellow Jackets at Rochester, you know? Like, no one's, like, I don't even know what, like, if they're even, I think they're, like, D3 or something.
Yeah.
But, like, I think having, like, sports, like, being able to go to games and stuff was something that, like...
And also having, like, big names come here, like Duke and
yes,
all this
exactly.
stuff. Again, regardless of if we're, you know, good or not, it's...
No, it's still great, like, seeing, like, I mean, like, even, like, the past game, like, on Saturday, like, seeing Louisville, and I'm like, oh my god, like, Louisville, like, it's a big name, you know? Like, you know Louisville.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, it's not, I mean, like... So, like, that was something that was really important to me, and this ended up being one of the schools that, one, I really liked, and it had that... And it had a great program.
Yeah.
I loved the campus, loved, like, the people that I knew. So it was, like, literally, like, it checked, like, all the boxes off for me.
Yeah. For me, the thing is, like, when I got into Syracuse, I was, like, so happy. And I was like, yes, okay, a private school, okay, this is okay. Like, because for me, at the time, what I liked about the private schools is that they had, like, ability to mandate, like, vaccines and stuff like that.
Right,
and, like,
yes.
That was a whole nother thing. And also private schools, knowing that they tend to give more money than public schools, that was another big thing.
Yes. Yeah.
So, like, when I got into Syracuse, I was super happy. I told my parents, and I looked at my mom and my dad. I looked at my mom one night, and I looked at her and I just go, listen. So, basically, long story short, up until then, like, I had signed up for a few info sessions, like, admitted to and things online through Zoom.
Yeah.
And I went to my mom one day, and I go, listen, Mom, I have this on this day, this on that day. My mom's that kind of mom where she's like, you do what you feel fit, and just let me know. Yeah. And, like, you know, that kind of when it comes to the college stuff, because my parents are immigrants, so they don't really know the college process as well as, you know, like, parents who were born here and went to college here. So I just told my mom, like, okay, I have these info session, that info session, and I was like, listen, I know that there's, like, not a high chance that I'm going to get into this school, that school. Like, I know that there's a good chance I'm going to go to Syracuse. So I'm going to do my best to fall in love with it right now. And, like, you know, like, kind of, like, see what I can about this school. Like, this is probably where I'm going to go, so I want to know about it. And she was like, no, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so did, like, I think 2 or 3 info sessions, absolutely fell in love. Oh, yeah. Absolutely fell in love. Even if those top 4 schools had admitted me, I genuinely don't think I would have accepted those programs against this. Like, 1 and 2 would have been hard. You know what 1 and 2 are. I do. Those would have been hard, but knowing what I know now, it's Syracuse. But, right, of course. Like, I really fell in love with the campus. So when the 4 schools rejected me, I didn't feel bad at all. Like, I was totally fine with it. I was happy with it. I looked at my dad and I go, Dad, we can say it. I'm going to Syracuse. We can say it. It's free now. There's no, like, oh, maybe. Nope. I could go to, like, I could go on Zoom. I could call my friends and, like, we could, when they asked me where I'm going, I didn't have to say I'm not sure. I could just say Syracuse. I'm going to Syracuse. Yeah. Done. Yeah. It was easy, and it felt like such a weight off my back, and it felt so good.
Yeah, I was actually, like, one of the last people, I don't know necessarily in my grade, but, like, in my friend group to figure out where I was going. Yeah. A lot of my friends actually figured out, like, pretty early. I mean, like, I had a few friends who went, like, early decision on schools. I mean, like, I have a friend who went early decision to a school that she's never seen the campus of, and she didn't see it until, like, the summer. So I'm like, I just felt like it was so weird. I'm like, how are you going to school that you don't even know what it looks like, or, like, see it? Like, what if you, like, go and you hate it? I mean, like, I remember, like, weirdly, I, like, remember, talking to one of my friends. I was like, oh, yeah, like, is this, like, right before spring break? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna go look at, like, some schools, and they're like, oh, like, what are your options? And I mentioned them, and they're like, oh, like, they're like, oh, you should go to GW. And I'm like, why? And they're like, I don't know, I just feel like Syracuse, like, doesn't fit you. And I'm like, one, I don't know if that's necessarily true. You don't know me that well.
I didn't see campus before I came here.
Really?
I didn't. I saw just, like, pictures and stuff, and then, like...
You know they have those virtual tour things.
No, yeah, I know. When I drove on campus, my mom and I, like, looked around, we were just like, holy, I'm in college, real.
The big building, like, when you feel the way is Krause.
Yes.
On the hill.
Yes.
I mean, the minute you see that building, you're like, oh my god, like this, like it.
Like, I saw Hall of Languages, I saw Krause, and I was like, these are the pictures of the buildings that I saw in the background of the Zoom, of the admissions person, they had like HL in the background, or they had Kraus in the background.
Yeah, it's either Hall Languages or it's Kraus.
Yes.
I mean, two like very like big iconic
buildings of this campus,
or like the dome even. Like seeing the dome for the first time is such an incredible
walking
experience.
into the dome.
Oh my
for Slices Right, that was the moment.
Yes, agreed. Agreed.
That was a moment of all moments.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like I was kind of like middle of the road because the thing is like we were all getting like questions from our teachers like where are you going like throughout the whole process and like once I got into Syracuse and once I fell into Syracuse I was like it's probably I was able to say like it's probably Syracuse like probably there might be sales but probably and so that's why like saying like definitively was Syracuse that felt kind of like a weight off my shoulders but like I kind of knew like it was like I was able to say probably like I kind of knew it was probably gonna be here. But a lot of my friends, like, Fordham University and Iona College are Iona University. That's very weird to say. But Fordham University and Iona University are very popular picks.
Yes.
From my high school.
Same in my high school.
So, like, a lot of my friends from high school knew, like, oh, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't... Like, we all kind of knew, like, it's honestly, I think it's the minority that goes to other schools outside of that.
Yeah.
Outside of those two.
I mean, like, minority, like, at your high school?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, my high school definitely, like, I mean, like, my high school also had, like, big schools that, like, a lot of people went to. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, 10 girls from my school went to, like, Fordham alone. Like, 10 went to, like, Fairfield. Big Jesuits. Like, a lot, like, my school is very Jesuit heavy. A lot of people at my high school go to Jesuits. So, I mean, like, I was actually, like, my one rule for looking at schools, like, applying to schools, I'm like, I cannot go to a Jesuit.
Oh, my rule for my school was I could not go to a religious school that would make me take any religion classes. Like, the thing is that as much as I don't really want to get into that stuff, it's just a matter, like, I have my opinions, but I'm not going to get into it because for obvious reasons. But, like, I took 12 years of religion.
Same here.
I don't need any more.
No.
Like, I understand everything that I need to understand about the Bible and about God to understand what I am. I don't need
any more
4 more years.
No.
And, like, honestly, I'm happy with this. Like, you have the option to take a religious class, but you don't have to.
No.
Like, it's not a requirement, which is nice.
I mean, I ended up taking one for, like, a credit, like, arts and sciences credit, but it wasn't really, like, a real religion class. It was, like, philosophy and religion.
Yeah.
And we were reading, like, Greek tragedies, so it was, like, like, it wasn't, like, we didn't, like, get, like... Into,
it wasn't,
really
like,
big.
the Bible says this,
No,
and, like, what it was in high school and what it was in middle school.
Yeah. I mean, like, that was something that, like, I think my whole view on college was to get an experience different than the one that I had in high school. And a big thing for me, honestly, like, I also, like, I knew that, like, I cannot go to a Jesuit, and I have to go somewhere co-ed.
Yeah. Riffing off of that, first of all, the co-ed thing is huge.
Yeah.
Because we both went to all one-gender schools.
I went to an all-girls school, all-boys school, yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, also for me, like, you make a good point, like, I love the size.
Yes.
Perfect size. I love the size.
Perfect.
I always say it's big enough, so it's small enough that you have your group of people.
Yes.
And you have the people that you know. But it's big enough that I'm not walking down the Einhorn walk and I know everybody. Yeah. Like, in high school, I would walk down the hallway and I knew most of the people I was walking past. But now I can walk across campus and it's not... Like, I see, like, it's nice because there's most people that I don't know, but every few people, I'll see, like, somebody that I know, which is nice.
I mean, you know everyone here. I feel like we need to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing.
I don't know, I think it's the new house thing.
I think we mentioned this before, that if you are friends, especially for you, if you're friends with 3 individuals, me, Ben, and Marie, you know you are at least 1 degree of separation from somebody else on this campus.
And I'm friends with all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
We need... I think we need a Marie episode.
I think we do need a Marie episode. Oh my god, guys, we need to... You know what? We should just have a notes app. We should be writing down notes as we're filming this episode now because we're just coming up with ideas. This is great.
Yeah.
We'll do it in post.
I know a lot of people though.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I do know a lot of people.
Like Newhouse people. You know, like arts and science people because you're dual. You know, like tour people, essay people, citrus people.
Please let me please put context. SA stands for Student Association.
Oh, yeah.
Please,
Okay.
I am in student government. I am an assemblyman in Student Association. Let us please preface that. I really... Okay, let me
I did not think that through.
For a side talk, for 5 seconds, I really want to change it to SGA, as other schools have it, Student Government Association,
Ooh.
just so that there's, like, discrepancy there.
Yeah, it does sound really bad without context.
But Student Association is really what we are. I mean, we're not, like... We're technically a government, but I don't know. Like, it's kind of like...
You know, I don't really know if I
think part of it is the matter of we're not exclusive to just people within Student Association. We are a bunch of people that are working for the student body. I think that's where the discrepancy comes from. Mm-hmm. You know, hopefully I can, get over that. But, yeah, that was brought to me today. That doesn't sound... Or, like, yesterday. No. That doesn't sound very good.
No, it doesn't. But I don't even know
without context.
I don't know if I really call it a government, though.
Yeah, but
I feel like government just sounds too official.
Yeah. But yes, I know a lot of people from Student Association and Citrus.
Yes,
and
okay, yeah, I meant Student Association, not...
So many people.
You know so many people. I mean, like, I'm gonna be... I was telling Ben this, Ben is my boyfriend, who Richard mentioned previously. If you know, like, he also knows a lot of people. I was telling my mom about this, and I was like, oh, yeah, like, Ben knows a lot of people, and she was like, oh, yeah, like, you're probably, like, a celebrity couple on campus.
So, if I'm not mistaken, in high school, after high school, I think I had, like high 100s, like, low 200s in, like, Instagram followers, and I never realized it until now, but I have over 400 followers, and I have, like... amidst family and business and friends from all different times. Because the thing is, I don't really grab phone numbers unless I am actually friends with an individual, and I have 364 contacts.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can we talk about that one?
No, we can't talk about that one. This?
Yeah.
No, we can't talk about that one. Yeah, if we want to talk about that, that kind of deserves its own thing.
That's a whole episode.
That's a whole
We're going to have a whole episode just on our middle school...
Middle school trauma.
Middle school trauma.
My God.
My God.
We're gonna need to make a list of, like, fake names. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Because we're not trying to screw anyone here. We're not that
like,
kind of that type of people.
I think for the most part, I'm not going to speak for you, but, like, I don't really care that much about it anymore.
Same,
so, like,
but... Yeah.
I know. Like, obviously, it still has, like, a lasting effect on me and, like, every single, like, functioning, like, every single function that I do in my daily life, you know? It's, like, just that. That's totally fine, though. Like, there's no issue with that. But, like, also, like, I do try to think, I mean, like, there are certain people, obviously, that, like, I don't want to, like, ruin their lives. If, like, they watch a podcast, like, oh, my God, this person was such a bitch.
That's what I don't want. Like, I don't want to ruin people's lives. That's not what we're here for.
Agreed.
We're here to have fun.
We're here for, like I said
before. For
before,
fun and vibes.
And vibes. We're here for vibes. That's all we're here for. Well, and, like, sharing stories, sharing life.
Yeah.
You know, but we're here mostly for vibes. Mostly for vibes. Honestly, I think we found our slogan. Here for vibes.
Yeah. Here for vibes.
Edit our little...
We literally just came up with everything on the spot.
I know.
In one episode.
See, look, we were thinking about it today. And
we have a map now.
We have, like, a list of...
We were so out of coordination.
Look, see, like, we were talking today, and we're like, we need to, like... We're like, this is all the stuff we need to get figured out. Like, we need to figure out, like, what our logo looks like. We need to figure out, like, our record... Like, the actual production company. Because we're not the only podcast on this production company.
Yes.
There are... What is it? Two other podcasts.
There's two others, and I'm on both of them. So if you want to be a fan of this,
I'm on one other one.
Yes. Please, like, honestly, if you're down to hear this voice on every single podcast, welcome to the recording booth.
Welcome to the recording booth. Woo!
Really, like, it's just yeah. We completely got sidetracked. What the hell were we talking about?
We were talking about. Well, we started talking about college, and then we were talking about middle school trauma, and then because we were going through contacts and how you know a lot of people. Yes, how you know a lot of people.
But no, like, it's insane. Like, okay, but at the same time, I feel like 200 is a big number.
I mean, growing 200 in like a year?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's about 200 that I've...
I think I only got like...
But it doesn't feel like 200.
I only got like one...
It really does not feel like 200, though.
I don't even know how many I have.
But, like, honestly, the thing is, like, every, like, interaction, like, from classes to living with other people...
Yes.
To, like, different clubs, like... I've met so many people, but it does not feel like that many people.
Oh, no, for sure. Like, honestly, like, do you know how many times I've walked around campus and...
Keep going. No, keep going. Sorry. Keep going.
Oh, okay.
Keep
Sorry.
going.
For reference, I'm giving people, like, reference. If you're looking at the time, apparently we've been recording for almost an hour now.
The thing is that, like, like, I am so nice. I did not want to interrupt you, but, like...
No, you're all good. But...
Okay. I don't know, can you multitask?
That is a very good question. I mean, the
thing is, it's funny, because sometimes you can, sometimes you can't.
Yeah, see, it depends on the circumstances. But basically what I was going to say is, like, do you know how many times I've walked around campus and people, like, say, like, hey to me, but I, like, don't remember who they are? Like, okay, so last week, I went on a double date with my boyfriend, like, another couple in our friend group, went to go mini golfing, and we were on the bus. It was, like, through, like, an Orange After Dark event that they have on campus, and we were on the bus, like, we were waiting in line, and then this girl comes up to me, and she's like, oh my god, hey, Carrie, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, who are you? Like, I genuinely could not, like, I knew her face, but I just couldn't think of her name. Sorry if you're watching.
The thing is,
like, yeah. But then she was like, oh yeah, like, we had a class last semester, and I was like, oh, like, I knew it, I was like, oh my god, I don't remember her name, but I was like, I remember after, and then, like, they looked at me and they're like, who was that? And I was like, I think I had a class with her. But then I saw her a few days later in Ernie, and she was like, oh my god, are you also living in Ernie? I'm like, no, I'm not living in Ernie. And then she was like, she's like, oh yeah, I am. And then we just talked, and I haven't seen her since. So, like,
yeah. The thing is, for me, like, if I see somebody once, like, only once, like, one interaction, and I see them again, like, it's, like, I probably won't remember you, but if I've seen you multiple times... I will remember you.
Yeah, I mean, like, this person I'm talking about, like, I sat next to her, like, every single class.
Yeah, like, that I probably remember.
Like, I knew her face, and we talked, like, a good amount of times, and, like, we would, like, ask her, like, how our weekends were, and, like, what we were doing for spring break, and, like, stuff like that. But, like, it wasn't really a class to, like, get to know each other. Yeah. It was a big, like, lecture class, so it wasn't really, like, it wasn't very personal. Like, it wasn't, like, a discussion section where I could, like, actually have time to talk to people. But, like, no, I mean, like, it's so funny to me, like, especially, like, I'm, like, thinking, for example, like, Marie, the perfect example, like, it's just so funny to me that now, like, whenever I walk around and I see her, she's always like, hey, and I'm like, and, like, it's just, like, I love it, we love Marie, we love.
I mean, Marie, I think, will get and deserves her own episode.
Yes.
Like,
I think Marie is...
There's so many funny things to talk about with Marie.
Marie is, like, the perfect person. Like, I think is, like...
She will match this, it's, like, you know, here for the vibes energy.
Here for the vibes, of course. Vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think with talking about new episodes, I think this is the end of the first episode.
Oh my god, no!
But we did it.
We did it!